Another exciting episode of Speculative Tolkienism.
Bombadil. What was your impression of Bombadil here?
Oh, it was so boring. There was nothing. There was absolutely nothing about this guy that, other than maybe the beard and the hair, that was Bombadil like. I mean,
Right. The beard and the hair looked like Bombadil, but he just wasn't Bombadil.
Like the Bombadil that I've read about, as far as I know, hadn't a care in the world other than Goldberry and his forest.
And
you know what I'm talking
creatures,
about?
The creatures that surrounded him, the bees.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying?
The flowers.
He laughed at everything.
Yeah. This guy is so tedious. He has, okay, I did a little bit of reading on this. This is Rory Kinnear, this actor.
Okay.
He doesn't strike me as the worst actor. He seems like a good actor. But I question his decision on how, or maybe it was the showrunners, like playing Bombadil like this. He said, "Oh, I gave him this Cornish or Cornwall accent because I wanted him to feel old." Cornwall being like old in if you understand like British history, an argument could be made that Cornwall is like an old British dialect because the Anglo-Saxons came and drove all the Celts into the western part of the island, and so that the people who live in Cornwall had been on the island for many, many generations, even before the Anglo-Saxons came.
Right.
Even though they're still speaking English, they're not speaking Cornish. They're not speaking a Celtic language, blah, blah, blah. But so for some elaborate reason, he chose this particular accent for Bombadil.
Right.
But in the context of his interactions, it is so distracting. This accent he has is super distracting. And it seems like he's so much more focused on doing that accent than he is like playing his character and interacting in what seems like a believable way with the other person in the room. There's only one other person in the room, and that's the stranger. And it seems like such a dead conversation. Like it's just leaden and preachy.
He had a few like, hey ho, my fairy, my darling, or whatever.
Yeah,
like some of the Bombadil caperings. But damn, son, this whole Bombadil encounter just feels like shoehorned in. It's a travesty, really. You know what I'm talking about? I mean,
because like I think of Bombadil as like a guy who's always kind of jolly and singing and playful and like frolicking. This guy just plods around the room offering like Oprah Winfrey level insight, like, oh, only we have a name, and only you can know your name, and only you can know your path, and only only you can find your staff if you're worthy of it.
But the whole name, though, like let's take a quick step back. When Gandalf's like trying to find his name, right? And like the Poppy and the Nori are like saying, "Oh, well, what about blah blah blah?" And they're like, you can only know your name. It's like that makes no sense. I don't know. Maybe when you say your name, it'll resonate with you. And again, maybe this is something like I don't know.
It just seems kind of like new age wisdom. Like, oh, if you listen to your inmost voice, you will hear your name spoken to you.
I know, man.
Let's just let this flow for a second and see where it goes. I'm going to turn it up, actually.
It wasn't quite what I was searching for. Well, there is what you're searching for, and there's what you find now, isn't there?
Now, there's what you're searching for, and there's what you find now, isn't there?
Like, you didn't use a proper accent, bro.
Sorry. I can't do the accent. But it's like, that seems like a kind of a condescending thing to say. Like if I was walking around in Oregon and I like some hippie guy, I was like, "Hey, I'm looking for like the gas station. I need to pump up my bike tire. I'm trying to find the nearest gas station." And he's like, "Well, there's what you're searching for, and then there's what you find." I mean, I'd be like, "What a dick."
right. But the thing is like it's the delivery. I'm not saying that that's not something. It doesn't feel like something Bombadil would say, but it could. Like well, it's like well, there's what you're searching for, but there's like
If it was said
like
in a jolly way or kind of a,
yeah,
well, there's what you're searching for, and then there's what you find.
yeah,
Like a
yeah. You
little
know what
bit
I'm
more
saying?
of a playful. But
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
this seems like scolding and preachy. Two Sheds is doing some drugs.
yeah. Thanks, GNC.
There you go.
So, like, you hear him mumbling, "Hey, doll, Mary doll," but it's
Yeah.
not like a Bombadil. It's not like, "Hey, doll, Mary doll." It's more like
Like,
it just
it
sounds,
should.
yeah,
Yeah,
like there's no sing-songing quality to it. It sounds like he's got Tourette's. Like he's
but
talking to
how
himself, like,
did
"Hey, doll, Mary doll," like
I
this
know?
guy's a crazy person mumbling to himself.
Again, it's he's following the stars. Like there's a lot of stars in this.
Yeah, like
Eh,
there's stars over every hill.
yeah. It's
Again,
like,
what a jerk! Like,
but again, like it's the delivery. You can like
yes,
there's stars over every hill.
right,
Like
right,
what?
right. But then he's like, "There's stars over every hill."
Yeah, like I mean, again, I always bring up Star Wars references, right? But like before Luke knew who Yoda was, it was like he was saying kind of like similar stuff, but in a joking kind of manner. It was like, oh,
Yeah,
like he would say something profound,
right.
you know, like oh, wars make not like I'm looking for a great warrior. Ah, wars not make one great.
Wars not make one great.
Right, right. Well, Yoda felt like a character. Like this just feels like something that we have to endure.
This
Like,
feels like someone who's doing like a reading for the first time that they don't really know. Like Gandalf is running his lines, and there's a guy that's just kind of running him back at him.
he's just practicing how to do a Cornish accent while spewing Oprah Winfrey wisdom. But you're right. I think you're totally right. Like the level of like new age wisdom would not bother me so much if it were delivered better, because you're right, like someone like Yoda also delivers kind of new agey snippets and sound bites, but they don't grate on my nerves as much as this does.
Like he should be more engaging with Gandalf here. He should be more like I don't
Yeah,
know.
right, right. I mean, there's so many
Yeah.
characters like this that's like, oh, I'll be the aloof person. Like the stranger here was the aloof person, and now we have to meet a new aloof person who's like, I will be inscrutable and wise, and you won't know what I'm saying.
But in this scene too, Gandalf is kind of a dumbass. You know what I'm saying? It's like, are we still playing like that? He's this naive being that still doesn't know where he's at, or
But that's so, again, like that makes for such a limp scene. Like if everyone's dumb and doesn't know who they are, where they are, what they're doing, like there's no energy in this, in scene after scene after scene, because in every scene it's like that. Like no one knows who they are, what they're doing, why they're there. Poppy,
the but
Nori.
the thing, like we've seen Gandalf die and come back and not remember stuff, right?
Yeah.
He forgot a lot of stuff and he remembered a lot of stuff, but the bottom line is like he was never a dumbass. Gandalf was never a dumbass, like
Right.
not remembering anything.
Yeah.
He's like, was like, like Gandalf's like, yeah, that was my name. I was Gandalf.
Tom remembers the first raindrop and the first acorn. He knew the dark under the stars when it was fearless. This old place used to be green. Now, it's all sand.
It reminds me of again, he's playing it like, again, there's no joy or jollity in his voice or in his persona, in his movements, so it's unrecognizable as Bombadil. It reminds me of, like, let's say you're driving through like Appalachia and your car breaks down, right? And
Yeah.
you really want some, or and this is the mechanic in the small town, and you really just want him to fix your car, But all he's doing is saying like, "Yeah, I've been here for a long time, and yeah, this place used to be green." And he's kind of bragging about how much he knows his local community and how long he's been around. But he never fix your tire, and you're just sitting there like, "Oh God, what have I done? Why did I have to meet? Why did I have to meet this mechanic?"
Yeah, but it's the mechanic that is going to give you these pearls of wisdom. But then you've got to fix your own tire. You know what I'm saying?
He gives you what he thinks are pearls of wisdom, and at the end of the day, he's like, "Well, I can't fix your tire," and then he charges you $500.
But and probably like, but the way to fix your tire has been with you all along.
You fix your own tire when you're worthy.
Yeah.
When you're worthy of having a socket wrench.
Yeah, and it was so like I'm going to finish watching this show, because but dang, this is like it like there is no hope of redemption. I don't think I'm going on record right now of saying I do not think that there's any hope for redemption for the show at all.